And now, Move the Sticks with Daniel Jeremiah and Bucky Brooks.
What's up, everybody? DJ Bucky here with Move the Sticks. And, Buck, we're in the middle of pro day season. We've got free agency. Really kind of the big burst has already taken place. We still got some big names left to sign. But for the most part, they're all accounted for here. So we got a lot of ground to cover today, man.
A lot of ground. This is I think y'all call it chunky.
Beefy.
Yes. A beefy podcast. We got a lot of stuff.
All right.
A lot of stuff in them.
Let me roll through what we got coming up for everybody here. We've got the free agency fallout. So what happened and how does that affect the draft? We've got some pro day buzz, what we're hearing and what we're looking forward to. We've got our Red Star prospect of the week, and I believe we're looking at the running back position today. So we'll put our Red Star on that. If you don't know what that is, you need to stay tuned because we're going to explain it to you. And then we've got some NFL draft prospect Bracketology. That's a mouthful.
Well, if TD's in the building, we have to get basketball kind of segued in there. So with the NCAA tournament about to start, this is a perfect opportunity for us to get a little bracket.
Yeah, we're going to get a bracket, and it's an interactive bracket. So we're going to ask you to contribute via polls about who should win these individual matchups, and we'll crown our own champion here on Move the Sticks, Buck. But I think we should just jump right in. Let's hey, we don't need any more happy chat here. The impact of free agency on the NFL draft as we go forward. And I thought we could kind of look at some specific teams that have been active in free agency and maybe try and find a marriage for them in the draft with a player that would make sense, really complement what they've already done. And I think we start right here with the Houston Texans, who made the big splash, Brock Osweiler, their quarterback of the future, and they also go out and get themselves a running back, Lamar Miller, who I really, really like fitting there. So if you're going to try and add one more piece to this offense for them to really kind of take that next step forward to complement their defense, who makes sense, Buck?
I'm going to give DeAndre Hopkins a playmate. I'm going to give him a complimentary guy, someone that can make life easy for him. I'm going to go with a speed receiver. Corey Coleman from Baylor, to me, makes perfect sense at where they're picking at number 22. I want a vertical threat, a guy that is 4.3 speed. I know he's going to test out the gym when he works at his pro day. He is a guy that can take the top off the defense and create easier passing opportunities for DeAndre Hopkins. Also, when you have a quarterback who is only – look, Daniel, I was surprised at this. Brock Osweiler has only made 22 starts since he left high school. 15 in college, 7 in the pros. I want to make the game easy for him. The best way to make it easy is to surround him by a talented supporting cast. Corey Coleman, DeAndre Hopkins, Lamar Miller. You surround him with that kind of talent, I think he will not fail as a starting quarterback in Houston.
Yeah, you've got options now, too, with both these guys. Now, him and DeAndre Hopkins are different receivers, but you can get them the ball right away. They can run after the catch and give you some of those easy completions. And I think Osweiler, just having watched him over the limited period we did last year, rhythm guy. You want to get into a rhythm. He starts off well. He can kind of keep it going and build off that. You get a guy like Corey Coleman, hits some hitches, some now routes, some nice easy completions, kind of get you rolling a little bit.
Yeah, those layups are important. You're able to get a guy who I think reminds me a little bit of Steve Smith when we were at the Carolina Panthers. We could get it to him on the now screens, kind of get it to him and let him get going. For Brock Osweiler, it's going to be very important early in the season that you kind of get him off to a good start. Playmakers. Surround him with playmakers. Corey Coleman, DeAndre Hopkins, I think it'd be a great fit. And if I can't get Corey Coleman, I'm thinking Will Fuller would be another guy that would fit that role.
Yeah, I'm with you, though, on Coleman. I think that's a home run pick for him if he's there. Don't know if he will be there or not. We'll have to wait and find out. Bucky, as we move on now to the team that won the championship last year, the Denver Broncos, man, Osweiler, we just talked about being gone. They've lost Malik Jackson. They also lost Danny Trevathan, a good linebacker. They've suffered a lot of losses. Now when we look at what they could do potentially there at pick number 31, remember, Patriots no first-round picks, so there's only 31 first-round picks this year. What would make some sense for them considering all that they've lost? Now, we have C.J. Anderson. At this point in time, they have not matched.
And they probably won't match.
That offer sheet,
yeah.
We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, so it's tough because with the Broncos, we can go in a number of different directions. We obviously can go on the defensive line. They need a quarterback. I'm going to go with the running back, and I'm going to address the running back position, even though it probably goes against what Gary Kubiak traditionally has done and what the Denver Broncos have traditionally done is they've avoided mostly those number one picks, expanding that running back. But I'm going to say that Derrick Henry is a special talent for them in the fact that we know now that given their quarterback situation, they're going to rely on the defense, and they need to depend on the running game. Big physical whammer, a guy that can carry it 25, 30 times a game, get them to that magic number, which is 30 for them when it comes to rushing attempts. I want someone who can be a sledgehammer, someone who can really grind it between the tackles. I believe you put him in that offense, he's going to have a lot of success. He's also going to alleviate the pressure on whoever the quarterback is for the Denver Broncos next season.
I like that fit. I mean, I think you're always looking for identity, and we always talk about on here having your formula. The formula is different for each team, how you win football games. You look at a team like the Green Bay Packers, they're going to go ahead and try and get a bunch of points, and they're going to want you to play from behind and then try and get after your quarterback. And you look at a team like the Denver Broncos, to me, they won't play great defense. They want to shorten the game by running the football. That complements what they already have. So, first-round running backs, we can debate, okay, should you, shouldn't you? I think there is a case to be made for them going in that direction. But I'm gonna go to the other side of the ball, Buck. You mentioned defensive tackle. You got to replace Malik Jackson here. So I got a couple names. I'll give you one to start off with here. Vernon Butler from Louisiana Tech. Now, he didn't run as well in a 40. I really don't care about a 40 time for a defensive lineman, an interior defensive lineman. You watch him. He's got range laterally, sideline to sideline. He's big and powerful at the point of attack. And you can move him up and down the line of scrimmage. So I think the versatility and the athletic ability, I think he's kind of in that late 1, early 2 type range. And, I think he'd be a good fit for this football.
I think it's a good spot for him. Watch him at the Senior Bowl. Very impressed with his athleticism and his hand skills. Plays on the other side of the line of scrimmage. They lost Malik Jackson, but you still have Derek Wolfe. Getting an interior penetrator like that to go in rotation with the Sylvester Williams and some of the other guys that they roll in, he would be a really, really nice fit. There you see the 10 tackles for loss. I'm looking for active bodies to really help Wade Phillips guys on the outside get loose. Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware, Shane Ray. He's a guy that certainly can command the attention to take advantage of those one-on-one opportunities.
And I love D lineman rocking the single digits. You got the nine working there. I love it. All right, let's move on, Buck. Another one. Let's try and give a couple other options here for this football team. Well, you went running back with your first option. How about another one?
Well, how about at the bottom of the first round we address the quarterback situation? And why don't we go and get a guy who I think is a clone of the guy that just departed, Brock Osweiler. Paxton Lynch from Memphis, to me, comes in. And even though we can say, oh, he's a year away, he needs some time, in this system, we really just need him to manage the game, understand how to do some of the things from a situational football standpoint, don't turn the ball over. But when you really look at his skill set, because he can run, because he's athletic, because he can come out the back door on the bootleg, I believe you really could put him in that offense and have a tremendous amount of production from that situation because he can get on the edges. He can give you some rushing yards. He also has that big arm where he can stretch the field. Emmanuel Sanders, Demaryius Thomas. I like that fit. I think he would be a nice pick if he's there at 31.
It's kind of interesting when I look at that pick that you just, thought of right there, Buck. Maybe this could be a situation almost like with Russell Wilson early, right? Those first years with Russell Wilson, first 2 years. Paxton Lynch could kind of give you the same thing. You were talking about it. Just play great defense and then give us a spark. Give us a couple big plays, be it with your legs or with your arm. We don't need you to do a lot, but we just need you in those few moments. Just give us some chunk plays and we'll take care of the rest.
Those veteran receivers on the outside, Demaryius Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders both of them can pop the top off the defense. They also can really thrive in that layup game you talked about. Hitches, now screens, quick things designed to let it go. If they can run the football, they're going to have those one-on-one opportunities. And for a young quarterback, running game, defense, those are his best friends. Allow him to grow into that role, and maybe in year 3 he can be a guy that can be a franchise quarterback that can carry the weight of the franchise.
Well, you're more creative than me, Bucky, because you gave us 2 different positions and 2 different players. I'm going to give you one position. I'm going to go back to the defensive line and go Chris Jones from Mississippi State, who at 6'6", over 300 pounds. You talk about somebody that has the ideal frame to be able to step in right now and play the position to replace a Malik Jackson. He can do it. And you talk about somebody here. That's the view you want to see of him running the game. But you do not want to see the other view.
He's coachable.
But,
he can make adjustments.
No, he did make adjustments. But watch him stumble a little bit here. But you see the foot quickness he's got kind of coming over these bags. That is a big, athletic dude who I think's got tremendous upside. I like that pick for them there at the bottom of the first round.
Look, there's nothing wrong with playing to the strength. Their strength is their defense. And because it's now even really in the spotlight, because we saw their run in the playoffs, they won a Super Bowl because defense plays so well. Enhance that front line. Allow those guys to go. We know that DeMarcus Ware is now designated to be the third down rusher. Shane Ray will move into the lineup. Make sure you surround them with a big body so my guys on the outside can get those one-on-one matchups. That's what I'm looking for. Chris Jones and Vernon Butler both would be great picks at the bottom of the first round.
All right, let's move on now to another team that was active in free agency, the New York Giants. They re-signed JPP. They go out and sign Olivier Vernon, who did a nice job for the Miami Dolphins, mid-20s pass rusher. Then they go out and get Janoris Jenkins. So they've been aggressive, kind of frees them up a little bit, I think, when we come to the draft, holding the 10th overall pick. What should they do with it, Buck?
Normally you just tell them to take the best available player, but in looking back at their successful teams, particularly with Steve Spagnuolo, it's been the defense. And the defense has been able to roll a number of big bodies at the front line. I say they stay committed to the defensive line, enhance it. How about Sheldon Rankins from Louisville?
Okay.
Active interior pass rusher, a guy that has nice athleticism and violent hands, plays on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Reminds me a lot of Geno Atkins and what he brings to the table. Spin move, being able to get that interior penetration and that disruption with the guys that they have on the outside, Vernon and JPP, who should be much better now that he is understanding how to play with that hand injury. I like this move. I think it continues to help them field the defense that can win the NFC East.
I think I even have the same comp with you, Buck. Isn't that funny with some of these guys when you watch them? And just the movement. Take the body type and the frame, all that stuff. Just his wiggle, who's I would describe it as a defensive tackle, that's exactly who it is, Geno Atkins.
Plays on the edges of the guard, can win inside and outside, has a spin move, has violent hands, can also jack you. Dominant player at the Senior Bowl, has been dominant the last 2 years. I want to say 26 tackles for loss the last 2 years. He is someone that can come and make an immediate impact. They need to get better on defense, commit the capital to make sure that you have a talented rotation at that front four, and I think they can get it done.
All right, see, I'm going to look at this draft because of the depth that we have with the defensive line. I'm going to say they go offense with this pick at number 10, and they swing around and get some more defensive help a little bit later on. Laquan Treadwell, big wide receiver from Ole Miss, you bring him up. Now you've got a tag team partner for Odell Beckham Jr. You've got your quarterback in Eli Manning, who still has some left in the tank, 3-4 more years, and now you've got a nucleus of young receivers that are going to be outstanding. And you talk about Odell Beckham being able to do everything. He can do anything, underneath, over top, working in the intermediate. Well, you get down in the red zone, it's nice to have a target like this in the Laquan Treadwell. Give you some size, let Eli Manning put it up in the air and let him go get it.
Look, if we're going to go all the way back to their successful years, if you go back to when they last won the Super Bowl, Hakeem Nicks, Victor Cruz, Mario Manningham, having a diverse skill set.
And Plex before that.
Yeah, a diverse skill set. So even though Odell Beckham Jr. is obviously your number one receiver, having a guy that can do the dirty work between the hashes like Laquan Treadwell, you can challenge opponents because most teams don't have two top corners that can cover one-on-one. Big body, nice route runner. He'd be a nice compliment to Odell Beckham.
Oh, no question. All right, Buck, this is something new we've got here, and I got to bust out the button.
Uh-oh.
We've got a button. Now, I'm going to explain how we're doing this here. Okay, this is what we've got. We got something new we're going to do as we march towards the draft, and you see it right here, 4 downs. So the way this works is I've got together with our guys behind the glass, our brain trust, and I've said, okay, give us scenarios. So, any kind of a game situation, and then make us pick which player we would want for that situation.
Got it.
So the way it works, we don't know what's coming, so I'm going to hit the button. And that's going to get our generator going, which is really just guys behind the glass. But I wanted a button, so we're going to do a button.
That's cool.
So we'll do that. They'll give us a scenario, and we'll make our selections.
Okay,
Are you ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
You want to hit it, or you want me to hit it?
I'll hit it. Here we go.
Nice. All right, what do we got? All right, with the game on the line, which quarterback prospect do you want under center? Bucky, I'll give this one.
That's the easy one. I'm going to take the best quarterback in the draft. I'm going to go with Jared Goff as my guy that I want in the clutch. Quick, decisive, accurate. A guy who understands situational football. He's done a great job leading the Bears back to prominence. I believe with the game on the line, I give him the ball. I trust him in 4th and 3. He's going to make the right decision. More importantly, he's going to deliver an accurate pass where my guy can get it, move the chains, and we're going to continue on the drive to win the game.
Come on, Buck, move the sticks. We don't chain. There's no chains. There's no chains in your vernacular anymore. Look, I like Jared Goff, but if I'm in a situation with the game on the line, I want multiple ways to get the job done, and that's why I'm going to go with Carson Wentz for this particular deal, because I got Carson Wentz. If I need to lower my shoulder and get 3 yards to win a football game, he can do it. We want to call it design quarterback run, no problem. He can help you there. And then the accuracy that he brings to the table at all levels. We weren't specific. It didn't say what the down and distance was. So I'm thinking, hey, if we got to go, if it's 4th and 10, 4th and 11, I got a big arm. I can fit the ball in tight windows. You watch him shuffle around, move inside the pocket to buy time. He can extend the play with his legs. I love Carson Wentz in this situation. How about that ball right there, a little laser shot. I'm a big Carson Wentz guy. I like Jared Goff, but I have Wentz over him as a football player. And in this situation, in this particular scenario, I'm going Carson Wentz.
I like both players. I'm going with Goff because I think Goff has been exposed to more passing opportunities. Under pressure, I believe he's going to make the right decision. Carson Wentz does give you the dual threat playmaking ability, but I'm going with my guy Goff from the Pac-12. Cal, the Bears.
All right, we're moving on. That's first down. I'm going second down. You didn't really hit that thing very hard. I'm going to smack that thing. Yeah, I smacked it. All right, which defensive tackle in the draft do you want to anchor your goal line defense here? So, Bucky, we're in kind of. I guess we're kind of just in like a goal to goal.
If it's goal to goal, you got to score. I'm gonna go with a big body, a massive man, Ashawn Robinson from Alabama. Big, physical, stout at the point of attack. I kind of think he's the immovable object on that line. And when you think about goal line defense, it's not only about not giving up ground, but it's being able to create penetration so those guys can run. Look at how the rest of Alabama's defense plays because he's a disruptive force on the interior. I'm going to go with my man, A-Rob, to get it done.
All right, I like him. I like Robinson, but right team, wrong player. I'm going to go Jaron Reed because Jaron Reed is dominant at the point of attack. You cannot move him. He's going to push you back.
I'm looking at their stats. Their stats are just alike.
No, but I'm telling you, Buck, you don't have to make the tackle to be a goal line stand. I'm freeing up my dude Ragland to make the tackle behind me. But this guy's going to change the line of scrimmage. Watch him get some penetration here. The other thing he can do is range-wise. I'm at that national championship game against Clemson. Did you see the play where he went all the way over the sideline?
Yeah, I saw him. He can run around a little bit.
He got some lateral range to go with him, too. So if you want to try and run power at me in the goal line, we're going to jack you back with Jaron Reed. You're going to try and go stretch. Jaron Reed's going to scrape all the way down the line of scrimmage like he's 260 pounds instead of 315 pounds, and he's going to make the play.
He's a nice player. I will say that. Robinson, though, is the guy. He's a guy. He's bigger. Physical.
He's not much bigger.
He's still bigger.
Like exact same weight.
He weighs more.
We'll go to the tape on that. We'll go to the tape on that.
And we saw it every time I looked at the highlight, I saw 86 right there making a play.
Nah. Reed's a little bit better player.
Maybe I can get both of them.
All right, you want to go down 3 here?
Down 3?
The third down. You can hit the buzzer.
Bang, here we go.
All right, 4-minute offense. With the lead in the ball, which running back prospect would you choose to run out the clock?
Oh, that's the easy one. We're going to stay.
Oh, well, hold up. This is not like a draft, right? So if you say, because I know what I want to do. If you say it, I can say the same one, right?
I mean, you can if you want to take my advice, yes. You can
go ahead. You go first. Go ahead.
I'm going to say Derrick Henry from Alabama.
You think?
Yeah, I mean, that's the easy one. I mean, the game it was trying to salt the game away. I got a big back, 6'3", 247 pounds. A guy that can run 4.54 in the 40. But more importantly, a guy who last season alone had 11 games with at least 20 carries. Oh, I'm going to feed the pig. We're up. I'm going to give it to the big fella, and I'm going to let him grind it out. No one in the second level wants to have to hit this kind of guy over and over and over again. By the time we get to the fourth quarter, he is wearing them out. Derrick Henry's the guy that I want to close it out.
You know how they say, like, you have brand notoriety? Yep. Or is that the phrase used? So, like, Kleenex, you know, this is tissue paper, right? But we just call it Kleenex. It's so well known. It's like a Band-Aid. Technically, that's not what they're really called, right? But that's this is like the same thing. I mean, like, it's Derrick Henry. There's no other answer.
He's the ultimate closer.
Scotch tape, I think, was another one.
Scotch tape,
by the way. No, this is easy. Big, powerful, close out a game, 4-minute offense. He was built for that. So I don't disagree with you on that. We agree on third down. How about did I do? I think it's your turn. Go ahead. Give it a real push this time, though.
All right, here we go. I'm going to whack it. Yak!
There you go. All right, what we got here? Red zone offense. In a need of a passing touchdown, which offensive prospect would you target? Interesting here.
Oh, I mean,
we're going to do the same one on this one, too?
No, I don't think so. I think I got this one right. You have it wrong. I'm going to go with Josh Dotson.
Hey, you know I got it right.
Because I know you probably didn't take my guy. Josh Dotson, 29 touchdowns. During his time at TCU, a guy that understands how to play above the rim. Jump ball specialist, outstanding hands, easy adjustment, those things that he does. But what I love about him down in the red zone, the way that he posts up, expands the strike zone, easy making plays over those smallest defenders. I'm going to go with him. He is one of the best at putting the ball in the paint. And at the next level, when those skills really can translate, you have to win those one-on-ones against the taller corners. He has all that I'm looking for. This is my guy.
Oh, you're going to show him flip around here? They didn't show that. He had one of the great catches there at the combo and flip. I'm just glad that when you're making your argument, you did not show him making that one-handed catch down the red.
Oh, I thought that was good. They didn't.
That'd have been hard for me to argue against, but they did me a solid and left that one out. I'm going to give you my guy, but then I'm going to sneak another bonus name in there.
A bonus name.
I like to cheat in these things.
A bonus name.
I'm Laquan Treadwell. I need somebody. I've already talked about a guy that's big and physical, can go downfield and make plays in the red zone. I can throw him those back shoulder balls. He can out-muscle defenders for it. Oh, look at that. Look at that. They're just putting me in the red zone, showing my highlights.
I feel like this,
I like it.
I feel like
Keep showing the combine clips for Bucky's guy. Give me the red zone clips. Nice work, fellas.
I think this is the draft.
Nice work back there.
I feel like you made the touch tape. I feel like you're setting it up for Coach Billick, and you just made the touch tape. Like, hey, Coach, all my guy does is score touchdowns.
That's what he is. And where are we
Because
at? Go up.
All I'm seeing is
Cyrus Jones, like a second or third round corner, just plucking the ball right off of his head right there. Your guy had a good combine, Buck.
Yeah.
That's great, but this is about the red
zone,
zone,
man.
man.
29 touchdowns, and I don't get one clip. I get them all in shorts and T-shirts, and your guy, every play is a touchdown.
Well, just to make you feel better, I'm going to throw another bonus name in there. I'm going to go Austin Hooper from Stanford, the tight end, who I would also like is a red zone threat, who's somebody that's physical. You can watch him. Oh, now see, I get the combine footage.
Well, you should.
I deserve that.
Should.
I did deserve that, guys. That's okay. But you watch somebody when you get down in the red zone can kind of post up as a basketball player would, what you want from that tight end. I remember, I guess it was USC this year. Man, he made some big plays. They had a big, rangy freshman free safety was all over him, and he just out-muscled him at the point of truth, which we call the point when the ball gets to him. And those 50-50 balls turn out to be a little bit better odds than that with him.
The one thing that I noticed, even in looking at the combine footage that we have shown in the screen, easy adjuster, nice hands, tracks the ball well, big space eater in the red zone. And the tight end, to me, now is the matchup that everyone goes to inside the 10-yard line, because you have these guys that are athletic enough to outmaneuver linebackers, but they're too big for defensive backs. Hooper's a guy that's certainly in that vein. I like both of you guys, and maybe if we add up both of those guys, they can equate to what my guy brings to the table. Josh Dodson, I need a better B-roll. I need a better B-roll for my guy so everyone can see what he does. But he's the ultimate red zone.
He does have some sweet catches, by the way, on tape. Trust me on that. All right, the button goes away. We'll bring back the button next week, though. I kind of like that game. All right, let's move on now. We got some pro days, Buck. Some big ones coming up this week. Tuesday, a huge one at UCLA for Miles Jack. You see it right there. Tuesday, March 15th, you scroll down this list here. We're going to kind of go through some guys that have a lot on the line. We won't touch on each and every one of these, but I thought UCLA first and foremost there. On Tuesday, Miles Jack's got a lot going on at this one, Buck. I think it's more of a solidify thing than it is him needing to post some crazy numbers. Just see that he's on his way to being healthy, on his way to being recovered, and that he's moving around without a little hitch in his giddy up. And I think that's all he's got to do.
The funny thing, the only thing I wrote in my notes, movement skills and the progress from the knee. I think people care little about what the times are. Everyone knows what kind of player he is. They want to see him move around, run around a little bit, try and get a guesstimation on when he might be ready to make his way onto the field. Talented player.
Look at him in the slot.
You talked about his ability to play in the slot, be a nickel linebacker, even maybe a kind of a big nickel player in the slot. Never has to go off the field. Reminds me of Thomas Davis and the way that the Carolina Panthers used to use him when he was younger. Talented prospect. I think he's a top 5 prospect if he doesn't have the knee issues. He is one of my favorites in the draft.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. It'll be interesting to see what he does at the pro day. It sounds like he's probably going to go through the all the testing.
Full gamut.
That's impressive to coming off that injury. All right, next one, Baylor on Wednesday. Corey Coleman, one of our favorites in this draft class, Buck. Finally get a chance to put the clock on him. With his jumps being over 40 and broad jump was over 11, he's going to run fast.
He's going to run really fast. Had him in high school at a Nike event, the opening up at Nike headquarters. I want to say he ran 4.32 on grass at that time. I expect him to come in at that range. And look, he kind of got lost in the sauce a little bit at the combine because it didn't work. Will Fuller kind of was the star of the day based on his speed, the way he caught the ball. He gets an opportunity to reinsert himself into the conversation. Talented player, a guy that can take the top off the defense, but is also explosive with the ball in his hands. He's a home run threat anytime he touches it. This guy can change the narrative, get himself back into the conversation as maybe the top receiver in the class.
One of my favorite catches right there. Watch it just go right up.
Just go get it. Just take the rock.
When you look, I know we put up some popcorn numbers in these offenses in college right now, but just on the bottom of the screen where it says 74 catches and 20 of them were touchdowns. That's stupid.
I mean, that's the kind of production. Big-time player. The big thing will be for him, what does he look like as a route runner? How far has he progressed in terms of coming out of Baylor's system, which hasn't necessarily produced a lot of route runners?
What are they? What are their 4 routes, Buck?
Go, post, hitch, and you have a slant.
That's it. We love that.
I mean, that's easy.
Yeah.
That's easy. Make it simple for him.
That's right. You can make a living. You make a lot of money doing the running.
If he can show the ability to learn how to run routes, and some of the position coach would definitely take him through a battery test to see if he can learn more than just what he did at Baylor. He has an opportunity to be a special player. I think he's certainly in the first round conversation, and to me, he is still in the mix to be the top guy at the position. Just because
I have him as my number one receiver. You still have him as your number one wideout?
It's tough because I'm changing like Laquan and Josh Dawson.
They're different guys.
And they're so different. I mean, the classic prototypical number ones, you would have to skew towards Treadwell and Dawson. This guy's special, and depending on what you have on your squad, I can see him being ranked ahead of some of those other guys because he brings a lot to the table as a home run threat.
All right, Jared Goff on Friday. I believe we're going to have coverage of that here on NFL Network at his pro day. Well, I mean, I don't know that I really need to see a whole lot. I've seen him play all these games. I've seen him at the combine throw. I think he's got good feet for somebody that hasn't spent a lot of time under center. He can make all the throws. I mean, I guess maybe the thing you're looking at to see, where his weight is and how he's able to hold on to that and maintain that.
I mean, that's the big thing because the biggest question that most have is about his spindly frame. Is he big enough to withstand the punishment that could come with the position? As far as his footwork, his arm talent, I believe he's answered those questions. Watching him at the combine, everything was easy. Everything was tied together. His feet and eyes are definitely connected. Throws from a stable platform consistently. Because of that, I think it's easy to see why he always completed a high number of his passes. And then the decision-making. There you see 43 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, and 4 of those, maybe 5 of those were in one game against Utah. Talented player, understands how to play the position. I think he's a franchise quarterback. I would be excited to build around what he brings to the table.
Smooth. I use the term quick with him a lot. Smooth is the other word I would just use. Everything's just very fluid and smooth and easy, what you want to see from that quarterback position. I'm not comparing him by any stretch to Joe Montana, but just if you want to see what a smooth operator is supposed to look like at the quarterback position, go watch some old tapes and watch Joe Montana take a drop. It's just like he just kind of floats back there, and you see some similar footwork there from Jared Goff. All right, Buck, those are the pro days. We got some big ones to keep an eye on this week, and we'll swing back next week and kind of recap what we saw there. I think we're going to do some Red Star prospects right now.
How about that?
We did this last week, and if you didn't catch last week's video, I'll explain it to you here. We're going to go – we got a fancy logo back here.
How about that?
We go through each position. This is something that we did in the draft room where you'd get a chance to put a red star on a player and say, I don't care. I'm not saying he's the best player in this draft. I'm not saying he's the best player at his position. He's the guy that I want on our football team. I just like the way he plays, and I think he'll be a big addition to us, be it in the second round, seventh round, first round. That doesn't matter. You're just saying that I'm putting my name on this guy and I buy into him. So if we're doing running backs, Buck, I'll let you go first here. Who's your red star at the running back position?
Kenneth Dixon, Louisiana Tech. He is my red star running back because he can do so many different things. He is a shifty inside runner, a guy who has big playability, can take it the distance from anywhere on the field. I love his vision, but the most impressive part of what he brings to the table, he's a mismatch. Mm-hmm. He is a mismatch on the perimeter, which is why my comparison is Deion Lewis from the New England Patriots. Last year, during the middle of the year, Deion Lewis was probably the toughest guy to defend for the Patriots because he could hurt you in a number of ways. For a creative offensive coordinator, a guy who understands how to maximize what a running back can do out of the backfield, this is the guy. Whether it's in spread formations, whether it's having him in the dot position in the backfield, talented player, had over 4,000 rushing yards, had as my dad would say, a slop jar full of receptions throughout his career.
Nice.
This is a big-time player, someone in the right situation. Can you imagine him in New Orleans? Imagine him with the Patriots. Imagine him with a creative play caller. This guy can be a special player. He would be a fantasy pickup for me in the right situation.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite players to study in this draft class, Buck. I can't argue with that. I'd love to have him. I think he's very worthy of a red star. I decided to give mine to another running back who I view very close to him. I have just this person a little bit over him, and that's Devontae Booker from Utah. I know he's coming off of an injury, Bucky, but this is somebody, when you look at the notes here, he runs bigger than his size. He's 219 pounds, and he runs heavy. I mean, he runs behind his pads. When you watch him on outside runs, he's got a burst to get out there for a guy that runs with power, also has that speed to complement it. The vision and feel he has, the instincts, it's all there. And then the passing game, he's so well-rounded. He can help you in pass protection if you need him to stay in, and he's got very reliable, strong hands out of the backfield. Catches everything off his frame, can go get it, can high point it. He is just a very, very skilled player. I just like the angriness that he runs with, too. He's just got that whole vibe going. I want the football. and I want contact, and he can do everything. And I'm a big fan of Devontae Booker.
I'm a big fan, and I like your comparison, Tiki Barber. To me, I see a little Arian Foster in terms of being a big back that can do everything as a runner and receiver. He was a one-man show for the Utes. He can do it inside, outside, very soft hands catching out the backfield. You're right. I mean, when we're looking at the way the game is evolving, your running back needs to be a guy that contribute in the passing game. Devontae Booker can certainly do that.
Yeah, and Tiki Barber, to me, is one of those deals, too. And it was really like the first tape when I was watching him and just kind of – sometimes you can watch – when you're doing comparisons for players, sometimes you can watch 4 games and like, man,
I don't know who he is.
I don't know who this – and then he was like really like a couple series in. I'm like, this dude looks like Tiki Barber.
The way he
the
comes
way his
in,
style.
the way he's productive, pitter-pat.
Yep.
He has nice feet, and that is the thing. I think looking at the way Le'Veon Bell went from Michigan State to becoming arguably the top running back in football, Devontae Booker, you see the pitter-pat, the footwork, you see the pass-catching skills. Right system, right opportunity. He could be a guy that we talk about for a long time.
I do like Kenneth Dixon as well, though. 2 very, very good running backs worthy of our Red Stars. All right, Buck, this is a new deal we got going on here. Excited about this because it's tournament time.
That's right.
Your Tar Heels, right?
Right.
Feel good about them?
My ACC champion Tar Heels, I feel good about it, but all we're trying to do is just win the first weekend. We just want to win the first weekend. We win the first weekend, we get to the Sweet 16, we deal with that.
And those that don't know, I'm a huge Indiana fan. Didn't go to Indiana. My aunt actually used to coach there. I was born in the state, so I've always been an IU fan, and we got a horrible draw. We could be seeing Kentucky round 2, and if we somehow – well, first of all, we better get by Chattanooga round 1, then Kentucky, and then we could end up running into your Tar Heels. I don't feel good about that. But what we're doing, we're not talking about a basketball bracket. We're talking about a prospect bracket. So we've taken some players in this draft and we've put them in a bracket, and you can see it right here, the names we got. So we've got 8 names here. We've got a matchup. Look at these matchups here. Laramie Tunsil versus DeForest Buckner.
Ooh.
We've got Bosa going up against Jared Goff, so we've got a quarterback pass rusher. We've got Miles Jack versus Vernon Hargraves. That could be a decision.
That's a very good one.
Jacksonville might be making that decision in their room. And then you've got Jalen Ramsey versus Ezekiel Elliott, which is another fantastic matchup. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to involve everybody at home. And we're going to get you to vote on these matchups, and that'll determine who moves on. And the way we do that is you can go to NFL.com/MTS bracket, and we will have a way for you to see what's going on there. But to vote will be from Twitter. So from Bucky's handle, which is @BuckyBrooks,
Yep. My
handle, which is @MoveTheSticks, we will tweet out these matchups with polls, and so you can vote on them and see who moves on. And we're going to be something fun to kind of keep track of as we roll through March Madness here. We'll put a little draft flavor on it.
That should be pretty fun. I like some of those matchups. I mean, Laramie Tunsil, the number 1 pick.
How about that? Number one seed.
Number one
seed. So it's a fun way to kind of tie everything together with the tournament and this. And then you can also go ahead and leave us comments down below if you think we should, if we're missing somebody in this bracket. You want us to add some names? Maybe we could expand it out a little bit.
I mean, Carson Wentz is not in the thing.
Carson Wentz didn't make the tournament.
He didn't make it. We didn't even get him in the play-in game.
Yeah. So look, we'll take any suggestions how we can expand this, what we can do better. But be sure to check out our Twitter handles for the polls, and then NFL.com/MTS bracket will kind of keep you updated as we roll through this whole thing here. And any other comments you have on today's show, leave that down below. If you're listening on iTunes, be sure to give us a review, give us a rating there on iTunes, or if you're listening on NFL.com/podcast, we appreciate it. We'll be back next week with more Move the Sticks. He's Bucky Brooks. I'm Daniel Jeremiah. See ya.
Thanks for downloading Move the Sticks with Daniel Jeremiah and Bucky Brooks. For more, go to NFL.com/podcasts.